Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back for another discussion. Today, I guess I kind of got secrecy on my mind. It's kind of an interesting situation I'm in. You've heard me say on this channel more than once that the thing I probably value the most is truth. I value truth. And that makes it interesting to talk about secrecy because secrecy is something I'm very, I won't say uncomfortable with. It's part of life, right? Like we have secrets, we have things to whatever, but I'm not a huge fan of secrecy. And the reason this is on my mind, I guess we'll talk about this for a second. The reason this is on my mind is I am participating in planning somebody's, I don't know, secret something. I don't know. I got caught up in planning this, and it's for my partner, and she's got a birthday coming up, and I can record this now. This won't release until after the event happens, or at least is started and the secret is uncovered. But I wanted to talk about it because of how uncomfortable it makes me. And I want to tie in a few other concepts that I've talked about recently. Like I've been talking about how like how we treat each other, how sometimes it's more important to treat people the way they want to be treated than the way we want to treat them. I think that plays into this because I want to give somebody a surprise party because this is the kind of person who loves surprises. They love just being, I don't know, they I'm not sure what it is, but I know some people like the attention that other people planned something for them. Some people like the fact that they don't have to worry about things and that it was all taken care of for them. There's a lot of reasons somebody might enjoy a surprise party. I am not one of those people, so I don't really understand those reasons because I would not want this to happen to me. And so I'm left at an impasse, right? I can spoil it. I could be a dick and ruin everybody's fun. Or I can suck it up and I can participate in something that makes me a little more uncomfortable because other people have more fun. And what's wrong with that? Does that make me inauthentic because I'm participating in secrecy while everybody knows I live for truth? I'm not trying to deceive anybody. I'm not trying to cause any problems for anybody. But man, it bothers me, and that's okay. I don't mind for the people that I love to suffer a little bit, to give them a little bit of extra joy and pleasure. I think that's one of the great prides a lot of us take in being decent human beings is it does feel good to give somebody else something that they want. And so I'm happy to participate, and I'm also strained to participate. But that's why secrecy is on my mind, but I want to. And I guess before we move along too long, that person will definitely watch this video. Definite shout out. Happy birthday. The stress was all worth it, I'm sure, by the time we get there. But we have these other places in life where we have secrecy. And we have so many places that society, I don't know, expects secrecy or demands secrecy. And I don't always agree with the way that secrecy is dealt with. I'm not sure I agree. Like I understand certain types of secrecy, like war secrecy, right? Like obviously people's lives are at stake. Like, you know, the future of countries become at stake. Like you can't just, you know, loose lips sink ships. And what do you do with that? Well, okay, so there's a certain amount of secrecy that seems necessary when it's to, you know, protect life or give people a good time but are the other reasons for secrecy valid? Like the other reasons that the government keeps things secret from us, like why haven't they just released the investigation on JFK? That's 75 years ago, something insane like that. Like it's been forever. Why can't you just release it? Look, okay, so maybe the government's involved. Maybe the mob was involved. Maybe the investigation was botched. Maybe it should have been stopped. Who knows what secret is there? Maybe the aliens did it. I don't like what the hell kind of reason is there for not telling us what the hell went on with the JFK investigation now that we're here? Like why can't we have that? Why does that need to be? Well, control probably. People don't want to be embarrassed. People don't want to be the one to release the embarrassing documents. Or, I mean, in fairness, like that would probably all bring in Bobby Kennedy stuff. And we've got Bobby Kennedy's son, Robert Kennedy Jr. is an official in the United States government today. Like family members that were alive still then haven't been out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's some of the concern. I don't like, I just, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they would keep that secret. And it seems very strange to me. Now, of course, I could go on and make this whole thing about government secrecy, but that's not even what bothers me. Like, there's other kinds of secrecy that bother me, like the way that we're expected. Like, so I'm going to disagree with a social norm. There is a social norm that we should never talk about money, that personal finances are personal, and all of this, and I call shenanigans. I disagree. The only reason that people don't want us talking about our income is because they don't want us to realize the unfairness that is occurring. It's no more complicated than that. It's an abuse tactic. And so they've berated us into personal finances are personal. You shouldn't talk about this. But the only motive for that is they don't want the unfairness to be uncovered. They don't want people to know that they're being treated patently unfair. Somebody working side by side as hard as somebody else making half of what they make is occurring in this world today. And I think it's a tragedy. In the United States, it's not legal for an employer to punish you for talking about your wages. They will tell you, they will put it in writing that you can't talk about it. They will put it in writing that it's a fireable offense. Those are violations of your rights as a United States worker. And don't take my word for it. Go look at legal advice or go get that. Don't just act because I said something. I make mistakes too. I'm not a lawyer. This isn't what I do for a living. I mouth off and bitch about things for a living. So, like it's, I give my opinion for for things. And so it's always your responsibility to know what is and isn't law. But I'm pretty sure on this one that that's a thing. But even so, even if you're not talking about people at your workplace, why is it considered taboo to be sitting at the bar with your buddies, working different places and talking about your wages? Now, on the one hand, I do get the thing that if you make more than your friends or less than your friends or whatever, is there a chance that jealousy comes in and this and that and the other thing? Maybe. But if we were all talking about it, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, because then the people who are snubbed would have a chance to say so because they'd realize what's happening. But that's the problem, right? We have a segment of people who don't even realize they're being screwed because nobody will talk about it, and they assume that they just can't talk about it because they feel like, I don't know, they believed the employer telling them that, oh yeah, you're the best paid person in the corporation when you're hired in at the lowest. Like, these things happen, and employers are definitely that shady. And I think some of these norms need to change. I think that there's a problem with that. I think that people should be able to talk about their means. I think that the only way to deal with the fairness in society is for everybody to actually have all the facts. We don't have access to the facts. All this shit is hidden and secret, and we're encouraged to keep it secret, threatened to keep it secret. Like, why is it, if it's so important for you to keep a secret that you have to be threatened with your ability to exist in this world, right? Your job is your livelihood. It keeps you alive. And if you're going to be threatened with your very livelihood over talking about how big your paycheck is, are you a worker or are you a slave? Because if you're a worker, if you're a contract worker, you can say what your contracts are worth. Nobody's going to stop you. Yeah, I sell that service for $15,000. That's that. There's no problem with that. We can talk about our business deals, but we can't talk about our personal income. That's interesting, isn't it? We can brag about our business dealings. Oh, I bought this house for that price. That's a flex these days, that you got a deal on a house or a car. We can talk about that. But if you say how much you make or how you can afford something, or then you're into taboo land. And I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think we should be able to talk about what we make. And I think that's another thing that keeps us divided in society. I think it's another tool to try to keep that isolation going. And then there are other secrets that we're supposed to keep, right? Like, all kinds of things are taboo to talk about, right? We're not supposed to talk about mental illness. We're not supposed to talk about our sex lives. We're not supposed to talk about, we're just literally not supposed to talk about all these things. And I don't know, my feeling on the matter is that, one, I consider self-censoring when I think I'm going to affect somebody else's feelings. Now, I don't self-censor because I may hurt somebody's feelings. But I do consider it. And there are times, like if I'm telling a story that I know is going to apply to somebody, I consider how that person might feel about me telling that story. And I'm very careful to at least not identify them, uh, but there are stories that I don't tell because the other person is going to know who it is. There might even be a few other people that know enough to be able to piece together details that they didn't have before. And I just don't really want to put people in that situation. And so it's not that I feel secret about it. It's just that I'm literally telling anybody on the internet that the stuff that I tell them. And if that's going to impact somebody else negatively, that matters to me. But I also don't see it as, I'm not keeping that a secret to keep it a secret. I'm protecting somebody, or I'm trying to be courteous towards their feelings. Would I tell my partner, my friend, anybody else, like in a place that, was narrow, or was it involving that person? Yeah, probably. Like I wouldn't be so worried about it then because there's nothing to tell. If there's no way for them to connect it back to who it is, then fine. But here on the internet, people will see things. And so that matters to me. But otherwise, I don't see the reason for censoring these things. Now, I mean, I understand oversharing. Some people don't want to sit there and listen to the deepest, darkest secrets of somebody else. We don't always just want to hear somebody else blather on about themselves, and that's fine. Which is funny. Here I am blathering on about myself, telling you that why would you want to listen to somebody blather on about themselves? But I guess I just like to think I have a unique perspective. And if I don't, you wouldn't be here. And if you enjoy that, then stay. I don't know. I guess I'm not doing this to appease the viewer. I'm doing this because I don't know. It feels good. Like I said, like I think I've said this before. This is how I sit down and think. I'll sit down and just talk to myself. Like that's one of the ways I organize my thoughts because I don't have visualization in my mind and I don't have an inner dialogue. So how do I convert my thoughts into speech without speaking it? I don't know. People, like I've spent my whole life, people think people say things that make me think I must be crazy because I talk to myself, but I do a lot. It's how it's really a way that I use to organize my feelings. And before I was comfortable with that, I did a lot of writing. Writing's a good way for me to do that too. So I use that a lot, but the other, like, and then there's like, the oversharing, right? Like, why is it that we do or don't, like, why do we decide what topics are polite? Why is that? I don't know. I guess I just don't see the world the way everybody else does. Everybody, and then what about secrecy on like keeping secrets, things that could be divisive? Like that's a big thing in the world today. There are people out there that want to be overbearing with their extreme and controversial opinions, and there are people that just want to keep their extreme controversial opinions to themselves. And sadly, I think I agree with as obnoxious as a lot of people are about it. I don't agree with the obnoxious nature that a lot of people put into it, but I do agree with just being you. If you believe something politically, say it. Put signs in your yard. Do you. But we are told that we shouldn't talk about like politics, particularly like in workplace. And I understand that, right? You're like a boss isn't trying to drive your social life. They're trying to drive your productivity. There's a certain amount of understanding to that. But on the other hand, there's a lot of jobs where you're going to have time to sit down and talk. Look, I've worked on, when I was a teenager, I worked on, like, one of my first jobs after turning 18 was construction work. I worked with bricklayers, and all you do is sit around and bullshit about weird shit all day because you can work and bullshit at the same time. It's really not that complicated a work. It's just hard work. And so why is it that you're supposed to choose these neutral subjects in those contexts? Why not talk? I don't know. Like, I guess I understand political can be divisive enough that, like, I guess it could become a distraction if it's more of an intense subject, but I don't know. Guys on a work site, I talk about like sex being like a taboo subject that we aren't supposed to talk about, but guys on a work site, that's actually pretty normal talk. So I guess it's a contextual, right? There are places that we're supposed to keep a secret. We shouldn't, in mixed gender companies sitting around a restaurant table. Well, that would be a no-no. But in, the work side, everybody's swinging a hammer and you want to talk about, whatever. I don't know. It's fine. And And it's just it's these weird things in society that we have that drives us to try to, I don't know, keep these various things secret. But I guess at the end of the day, the problem I ultimately have with secrecy is that it's a division point, right? Like it's, if you're literally intentionally trying to withhold something, what does that say? And I guess to somebody like me who values truth above all else, an omission of fact is a lack of truth. And so it does bother people like me that we literally have all these places in life that there is an omission of truth. And we feel like we have to put our best foot forward. And part of that's because society is kind of cold. We'll be written off for the smallest of things, you know, like we have things in our past. If we don't keep those a secret, then, well, what do we open ourselves up for? What happens from that? And I think that that's a societal problem. I don't want it to be that way. I don't think we should have to hide ourselves. Why can't we, you know, live openly? And I guess there's a certain amount that, like, you know, reputation matters, right? Like, and so keeping secrets is a way to control your reputation. But if you're maintaining your reputation through secrets, should you have that good reputation? Like, that's the problem, right? Like, I want the truth, not some half truth that buries all of everything else. It just bothers me and it just eats at me, the way that secrecy is so rampant. Anyway, I don't know that there's a lot of usefulness in this. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about how weird secrecy is, how I don't really agree with the way that we use secrecy. I just kind of wish we'd be more open in the world. I kind of just wish we'd start living a little more trusting lives again. I wish that we could realize that we've all made plenty of our own mistakes, and just because we find out about somebody else's mistake doesn't mean that they're a bad person if they did something bad, you know, years ago. Like, that bothers me. But we live in a world where secrets reign. We live in a world where the more time goes on, the more I think the world thinks truth is completely irrelevant. And I guess that leaves somebody like me with a little bit of difficulty and uncertainty, and I don't really know what to do with that. Anyway, I guess there's some few thoughts about what I think on secrecy, and I don't know, maybe it'll cause some people to rethink the way that we do things. I don't know. I guess until next time, then, be well.